everybody, welcome to the On This Day podcast. It's your host, Alex, and today we're going to be talking about Jackie Robinson. Honestly, not really. Well, I don't know you personally. I don't know whether you like baseball, watch baseball, hell, even heard of baseball. But unless you've been living under a rock for the past 50 years, you've heard of Jackie Robinson, and for good reason. In 1947, Robinson broke baseball's color barrier and became the first African American to play in a Major League Baseball game. This effectively changed baseball, the sports industry, and the world forever, and now Robinson is rightfully heralded as one of baseball's all-time greats. But his impact stretches way beyond baseball, so whether you're a baseball fan or not, you've heard of Jackie Robinson and the way he forever changed the world. But how about Dan Bankhead? Ever heard of him? Chances are you haven't, which is a shame, because just like Robinson, Bankhead was a crucial part of the fight to desegregate baseball. Bankhead was the first African American to pitch in the MLB, but unless you're a baseball fanatic, you probably never even heard of the guy. So why is that? Well, for one, the newspapers back in his day never covered him, which is a trend that continues to this very day. Bankhead's Wikipedia page is barely 4 paragraphs long. That's right, 4 paragraphs. You would think someone who forever changed the face of baseball would be a household name by now, but he's not. Unlike Robinson, Bankhead's story doesn't get told. Until now. Because today, we're talking about Bankhead's legendary MLB debut on August 26th, 1947. So without further delay, let's jump right in and talk about what happened on this day. Okay, that's a lie. I know. It's the podcast name On This Day. I'm supposed to get to what's on this day. But to really know Bankheads, I feel like we have to start at the beginning. The very beginning. And it starts in a little town in Alabama called Empire, 30 minutes from Birmingham, where Bankheads was raised. He was born into a family of ball players. His father Garnett was a minor and a star player in the Cotton Belt League. His father went on to raise 5 baseball players, Dan being the third. His baseball career began in 1940, when he began playing with the Black Barons. Fun fact, he actually tried out for third baseman, but threw so hard, the coaches converted him to a pitcher instead. In his first year with the team, he posted a 2-1 record, and in the winter of that year, would go down to sunny Puerto Rico and play 15 games, winning 7 of them. He returned to the Barons the very next year, playing and winning 3 games before eventually enlisting in the Marines. For the next 4 years, Dan juggled both a military and a baseball career, and actually excelled in both. That's some good multitasking right there. In fact, by the time he was released from the service in 1946, he had been promoted to sergeant. You would think that after serving 4 years in World War II, he would want to take a break. Go down to Hawaii or Florida or wherever the hot spot was back then, and just chillax, you know? But Dan the man had other plans, because as soon as he released from the service, he jumped right back into baseball, having a career year with the Memphis Red Sox. Now, the team was abysmal that year, going 24-36, but despite this, Dan shined, finishing with a 7-3 record, an All-Star Game selection, and a league-leading 42 strikeouts. And what do you know? That winter, he went back to Puerto Rico, throwing 179 strikeouts before eventually returning to Memphis that next year. Now, this year was really special for Dan, not only because he got to play with his brother Fred, but because this was the year that the Dodgers finally noticed him. So you see, Dan, being the great pitcher that he was selected for another All-Star game this year, and started and won in front of a crowd of nearly 50,000 people. After all these years of dominance, this was the game that put him on the map of the Dodgers scouts, and soon after, they would come to visit him and see him play in person. Now, if there was any game Dan needed to perform well in, it was this one, and he delivered, striking out 11 batters. So immediately after the game, Dodgers owner Branch, yes, that's his real name, Reiki, signed Bankhead for $15,000. Now, if you're wondering how much $15,000 in 1947 is worth today, it's about $174,283. So yeah, he was kind of a big deal. And soon after, on this day... Hold up. I know we're getting to the good part, and I know the podcast is called On This Day, and I have only brought up On This Day twice, and I've clickbaited you both times. I know. Don't click off. Because today, I gotta mention our sponsor, Scapegoat. Scapegoat is a socially safe party game for socially shameless teens. And I can honestly say, their game is one of the best party games I've ever played. And I'm not even just saying that because they're paying me. So if you're interested in this great game, visit their website at www.playscapegoat.com. Again, that's www.playscapegoat.com. And if you enter promo code ONTHISDAYSPORTS at checkout, you'll get $5 off. That's right, $5 whole. And if you're wondering, $5 was worth about 58 back in 1947. So yeah, kind of a big deal. Alright, let's get back to the point. I've been beating around the bush enough. On this day, August 26, 1947, Dan Bankhead made his MLB debut. And boy, was it a debut to remember. Not only did Dan pitch 3.5 innings, but he also hit a home run his first at-bat. That's right, his first at-bat. The Dodgers would end up losing to the Cubs 3-6. But hey, who cares about winning when you're making history? So that's what happened on this day. Dan Bankhead made his MLB debut and shined. Pretty incredible, right? So what happened to Dan after all this, you may ask? Great question. Dan played 3 more years for the Dodgers, spending the last 2 in the minors. The next 16 years of his career, though, were tumultuous and spanned multiple countries. In fact, throughout his entire career, Dan ended up playing in America, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Canada, and Mexico. He even got to manage a couple teams, too. After over 16 years of both managing and playing, Dan finally retired in 1966, and retired to Houston. I mean, not my first choice, but hey, who am I to judge? Dan spent the final years of his life delivering food goods and supplies to small businesses and restaurants across Houston. And after a long battle with lung cancer, Dan passed away on May 2nd, 1976, one day before his 56th birthday. And although Dan is no longer with us, let's keep telling the story. Let's keep telling the story of the Major League pitcher who broke the color barrier and forever changed the landscape of modern baseball. Because on this day, Dan Bankhead made history. So let's commemorate his history, and let us keep remembering the story of the kid from Alabama who forever changed the world. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you enjoyed that, download, write a comment, send me some money. I won't complain. Do all that fun podcast stuff. I really thank you guys for listening, for your support, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.